In 2008, we were given a list of towns in New Hampshire that the state committee thought were iffy. We blizzarded those towns with postcards for Obama. When the results came in, we were 8 to 10 percentage points ahead of any other towns that voted for Obama. And it was a revelation to us. Suddenly we were off and running, and we thought, postcards have an effect.
To me, no one at that time when we started was doing anything like this. And it was a very innovative idea to use postcards for people our age, which is doable, and the rest of political activity is not doable.
We do have power over our destiny, and the important part is to use this sense of opportunity and pitch in.
You know, we have 3 things we're fighting for: the environment, women's health, and voting rights. And I think almost the greatest of these is voting rights.
We don't make it easy for people to register in advance. For instance, some states have talked about being able to register to vote when you get your driver's license, for example. Well, that would make it a whole lot easier.
What I do is to keep track of the database of all of the grandmothers in the network, and I communicate with them. And then when we have a campaign, I take part of them, and I will assign names to grandmothers who want to send out cards.
The group strength gives a possibility to do something, whereas you at home sitting down writing one postcard after another with no good way of finding an outlet for it, that's sort of useless.
Like, I've even sent postcards to my children and asked them to send the postcards on to somebody, make sure they're registered to vote when they turn 18. So try to set a good example.
To see the handwriting gets their attention. The yellow card seems to jump out of the rest of the mail.
They're very precise, so you can look at a grandmother's postcard and get some good points quickly.
I always emphasize that we're looking for persuadable voters, people who are sufficiently open-minded to be brought in with the right message. And we often write 3 cards over time. The first one would be a sort of, here's our candidate. And then the second one would be, here's how our candidate and the opposition stack up on these issues. And then the third one would be a get out the vote card.
I think that the fact that we've mobilized so many people to do the things that we're doing is simply astounding.
This is the way to affect it. That's what we all have to do, is be better citizens. We have someone who's the founder and who thought about this and who comes in with some guidance and some ideas, but with a very inclusive approach. And somehow that inclusive approach with somewhat clear choices, i.e., we've got to tackle this job, that gets done and people are drawn in. Everybody's working harder and harder and you find your niche.
You really do feel that you are making a small contribution and you become a role model for your children and grandchildren.
We're nearing the end of our lives, and so we're particularly concerned in behalf of our grandchildren because this is their future.
I think you have to have hope.